Kelvin, the ball movement, I think you had 23 assists tonight. I mean, how have you seen that grow, and what does that bring?
Well, it's wisdoms and lessons. That's. I think that was born out of the um, Kent State game, St. Mary's game, Alabama game. Um, we we try to give our guys freedom. It's not about running plays. We don't need to run a lot of plays. Teams that look like us aren't going to live off a play. We like our kids to make plays in space. We're set up that way. I mean, there's a method to our madness. But what we're doing now is making the right play. Against Alabama, we're shooting hard shots. We get in the paint, draw somebody, and we weren't moving it the way we should. But we had a little come to Jesus meeting about how we're going to play. There's some things just aren't negotiable. Ball's got to move. Move it. And if you catch somebody in a closeout, you think you can drive it, then drive it, draw somebody, and then move it again. But quick, decisive ball movement has been good. I think we had 17 assists and 25 on 25 baskets Saturday against Virginia. Tonight it was who did we play before? A&T. I think that was another heavy assist night. But hey, our kids want to win. And sometimes as a coach, you have to plug the GPS in for them, and then they just follow the directions. But our defense and our rebounding, but our young guys are getting better too. Terrence was getting comfortable. Emanuel, JVA, Ramon, Reggie and Lauren. They both had high temperatures, sick. Neither one could answer a bell tonight, but hopefully we'll get them both healthier pretty soon. But every minute that JVA gets is just an investment for our program and for him. Same thing with Emanuel. We've got good young players, but they're playing on a veteran team. Their minutes aren't always going to be what they were tonight, but they understand that. I thought the team that started the game tonight, the team starts off zoning you. Right away, you're going to make multiple passes in multiple possessions. So it's not like you can play fast versus zone. We're not going to throw it down and just shoot it right away. I mean, we're going to take a good shot. But I thought our ball movement and our decision-making tonight was really good. And obviously, I never take offensive rebounding for granted. But that's, I think we're number one in the nation right now in offensive rebounding. And, our defense just continues to improve. Although, for a large part, I mean, they made some shots there at the end when we went zone. But, start the game and start second half. I think they have 19 at halftime, and there until about 2 minutes to go, I think they had about 16 in the second half. So they made those threes there at the end. So just a good night. Look around the country and see all the teams getting beat. But are getting beat by teams just like McNeese State.
Emanuel, this is your third straight game coming off the bench pretty early and playing significant minutes. What does that do for your confidence just as a young player and, getting into rhythm?
Just any minutes that I can get is good for my game because it allows me to get more comfortable and see the floor better and just understand the game overall more. It's just every minute I get is good for me.
Kelvin, are you gaining more confidence in Emanuel and what he can do, shooting obviously, but other things as well?
Well, you guys see him once in a while. I see him every day. The thing all our kids do is buy into how we play. His defense is getting better. He's not rebounding the way I want him to yet, but that's going to come too. There's certain things you don't forget. We lost 4 starters from last year. Everybody just pushes that to the side. Kyler Edwards, Tajay Moore, Fabian White, and Josh Carlton. We had to ride all those horses last year. Marcus didn't play last year from December on. Tremont didn't. This kid didn't play basketball for 18 months. He broke his leg. He broke his tibia, compound fracture of his ankle. He didn't do anything. JVA barely played at all last year. So we're integrating so many new guys into what we're doing. But our veterans, when I say veterans, J1's got 2 more years left. Tremont's got 3 more years. We've got a lot of guys that are just scratching their surface in some areas. This is Marcus last year, but Marcus has another year. I'm assuming he's gone. Joking. But this team, we just kind of put them together in June, and now we're starting to see how good we can be. But it's a long road. Teams get beat all the time. I can go down a list of teams that lost in the last 2 days, and you say, I didn't realize that they lost. Well, I did. Everybody can lose, including us. You have to come ready to play every night.
Yeah, for JVA, you were active on the boards again tonight, especially offensively. Can you just sort of describe your development as a rebounder since you've been at UH and sort of your biggest takeaways, which has allowed you to, get to this point?
I think being around, like last year, I'm going to take you back to last year, I think being around Fabe, Josh, they helped me a lot because they were real physical with me. And coming in, I wasn't as physical as them, so I had to get up to their standards, learn how to get a rebound. I took what they told me, every little technique and everything they told me, and I tried to implement it today, and that's what helped me a lot.
Coach, what does it bring to your game to have the 3-point, 14 of 33 on 3-pointers tonight?
What's your name? Jeremy. Here's how this thing works, Jeremy. This is 34 years of doing this. When you miss those shots, the question you get asked? Your offense struggled tonight. That's how simple the game is. When the ball goes in, it solves a lot of problems. Some of our best execution nights are when the ball doesn't go in. So it's not that the offense is struggling, we just missed shots. Tonight the ball went in. We made those shots. I can show you 10 to 12 shots against Alabama that were great shots. Just didn't go in. That happens for everybody. But the good thing about our threes tonight was who was taking them. Our 2 best 3-point shooters are Marcus and Emanuel. So shot selection is important. Our kids know that. When Emanuel's on the floor, we're going to start the ball in whatever action we're running away from him, and that thing going to get swung to him, and he's got great range. Now, he passed up a couple tonight he should have shot. But great shooters, really good shooters, can't be afraid to go miss 3 in a row, especially when they're good shots. You can't be. I remember when I was in the NBA, Steph Curry had a stretch where he was 5 for 41. Think about it. He missed 36 out of 41 shots. Missed them. Everybody missed the shots. Michael Jordan's the king of 4 for 21. It happens, but you got to keep shooting. We want him to keep shooting. But that's why, say for instance, the game that put us in the Final Four against Oregon State, we shot 32% that night, but we had 19 offensive rebounds. So you have to figure out how you're going to win the game. So we tell our guys to shoot it, and if you miss it, we'll go get it, and we're liable to throw it back out at you. So we have some 2 really good shooters. Then we have other guys that are capable of making threes. Like Tremont's a really good corner 3-point shooter. His 3-point shoot is really improving, but he's really working at it. Jamal's never really seen himself as a shooter. He sees himself as a table setter. But when the ball gets swung to him because of the work he's put in, now he's confident that he can make that shot. But We're an okay three-point shooting team. Not great, but now if Marcus and Emanuel shot all the threes, we'd be pretty good. It's like free throw shooting. You know, people say, well, you have if JVA shot all the free throws, we'd just be average because he's not a great free throw shooter. He's better than he was the first half. What'd you go to second half, JVA? 4 for 4? Huh? Yeah. It's like when I was with the Rockets. Dwight Howard shot all the free throws, we'd be the worst free throw shooting team in mankind. James Harden shot all the free throws, so you say, guys got a great free throw shooting team. No, the right guys are shooting them. So don't ever react to a team statistic when all the individuals are controlling it. Does that make sense? Good.
JVA, how has Reggie Chaney this season really helped you from a mentorship standpoint and being able to just be prepared coming into this season?
Sometimes in practice, he'll pull me to the side and just talk to me. Like, if I make a mistake, he'll tell me what I did wrong, how to fix it, and, like, what coach likes. And, but he helped me a lot because I see him every day. You know, I see him every day in practice and games, energy, effort. And so he just tells me what to do, and I just learn from him.
Emmanuel, what was it like, you know, having that leg injury, rehabbing from it, and at what point did you feel like, you know, you were, you know, almost back to normal? Or
I mean, it was a process, a long process, but once it's there, you kind of just have to accept it. Like, you can't think about what things could have been like or what they're gonna be like. Like, you just gotta live in the moment, and that's what my rehab process was like just embracing it, working at it every day, and like when I got here, when I came early in January, I started working with Bishop, and I started integrating myself into practice more, just seeing what I can and can't do. And then just once I got up to full speed and was able to go contact in practice with the team and help them throughout March Madness in practice, it made me feel a lot better about myself and more confident.
Manuel, you mentioned getting in here in January. Just how much did those few months last season and just kind of being around the team help prepare you to, you know, step in and play the way that this program plays?
I mean, it was probably the best decision I could have made because being in a program like this that's so heavily set on culture and playing hard, like that's not something that I really – in high school, that's not like a huge focus. So coming here and getting to experience that with this team and seeing how hard they play in the culture and how they go at it in practice every day with the same effort over and over and over, it makes it that much easier being this my actual freshman year because I already know how things supposed to go.
Well, the other thing is Sed Lath, the big 6'10", 250-pound kid that we signed in November. He'll be here the first week in January. So he's going to enroll early and be with us for 10 months. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So we get to have him for 10 months. So he's graduating high school early, and we'll get him here in January. And he'll do it. We started this thing with Caleb, actually, Caleb Mills. It was a great help for Caleb. Same thing with Emanuel, and I'm sure it will be for Big Sad.
Dustin Vandenberg, Gallery Sports. Mattress Mac says, congrats on the win. What's the most important thing your players can do on their own to improve week to week?
On their own?
Yes, sir.
Well, this late in the season, you know, we do a great job of managing their bodies this time of the year. I'm not a big load management guy. That's somewhere between Singalese and Chinese to me. And I don't even know what that means. But it's a long season. You know, we started this in June. Our kids have been together since June, working in some capacity, whether it's individual work, position work, teamwork, conditioning, weight room. So, You know, many years as I've done this, you know, there's some days we go heavy individual, heavy execution, or heavy defense. Take one of the three, and then we just shoot free throws for maybe an hour. Then there's some days we may go for an hour and a half, but rarely ever this time of year do we practice much longer than an hour and a half. We may be in here in the gym longer than that, maybe in the film room for 25 minutes. We may be shooting free throws for 25 minutes, but actual on the court, you know, pounding on their legs, hardly ever is more than an hour and 15 minutes. This time of year, you know, you're not practicing as much as you're preparing for the next game. You know, when you're in September and October and November, you're practicing. I mean, those are heavy practice days. But once the season starts, especially once you hit Christmas, when you come back, you know, our conference season starts 1 week from tonight. 1 week from tonight, we're at Tulsa. You know, conference season starts. So once you get into conference play, you know, we're just managing their bodies, being smart about the work they do in the weight room, on the court, making sure they're taking care of themselves with John Houston and Coach Bishop, and then our staff. You know, we do a great job of managing these kids. That's why we always get better in February and March, because we know how to manage their bodies throughout. So they come in. You know, when I come in the morning, I always see the guns out on the practice court. That means they're out there. Somebody was out there shooting the night before, and they're really good at doing that.
Last question, Chris Barnes, go ahead, Chris.
Kelvin, you finished non-conference now, 12-1. Do you sort of break the season in chunks like that and evaluate as you go along, or what's your approach when you're?
Yeah, non-conference for sure. You know, I do the scheduling, so you always have, okay, you know, we're at Oregon. You know, you set the schedule up in advance. So you're at Oregon, you're at Virginia, you got Alabama at home, you got St. Mary's, you got Kent State, Northern Colorado's picked to win their league. They beat Colorado State, by the way. Norfolk State. You know, we know our schedule. No one else knows the schedule but me. You know, you can't look at and say, well, that team's good. You don't know them. You know, we know them. We research these teams. That's why our net's so high every year, because we know how to schedule. But this schedule for this team was the right schedule, as it is most years. But, you know, we could have been anywhere from 13-0 to 9-4. You know, a lot of teams are going to go lose at Oregon. A lot of teams will lose at Virginia. A lot of teams will lose to Alabama. A lot of teams will lose to St. Mary's. Those are good teams. So we're happy to be 12-1, and then we're excited to start conference.
Coach, Emanuel, thank you very much.
Merry Christmas, everybody.